Welcome back to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. This is Raw is Retro here for the Sharpshooters on the Sharpshooters YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed at the Sharpshooters on YouTube. I am your host, Ross, and with me as ever is Manny.
Oh, we don't have a wheel. I couldn't make my decision.
Oh, shit, we haven't got one yet, have we?
We haven't got a wheel because you people haven't donated to the show.
Yeah, just the numbers are going up. We can see the numbers going up. We need to start with people buying t-shirts. Make sure we put a link on everywhere we can do. I think for next time we'll just get an online wheel. Can we put that on the screen?
Yeah, we'll probably have to get an online wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. It's fine. We are here anyway to talk about Raw is Retro. Raw from 1998. We're in May, the 4th of May. Yeah, American dates confuse me. It's the wrong way around. The 4th of May, 1998 from the Richmond Coliseum in Richmond, Virginia. We've said before we started, we actually get wrestling in this, and I'm not sure how to feel about it because this feels like a complete shift to how Raw's been for the past 4 months.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I like it. I like
not a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah, I quite like non-finishes and nonsense. The actual wrestling, but like, hold on, what's going on here?
A distinct lack of shenanigans going on throughout this episode. We'll see if this continues in the next few weeks. But yeah, we start with a long segment up on the rampway. It's supposed to be the Lust Shack, but Foley comes out looking like Mick Foley as he would do in 3 or 4 years' time, 2 or 3 years' time.
Oh,
the red cut-off vest. Yeah, he is not a happy man, is he?
He's got the dude love gear, and he's calling out Vince.
Yeah, he is not happy with all of it. He doesn't want his kids to see him bumping and grinding against some, what do they call them? Second-rate 2-bit, something like that, 2-bit strippers.
Yeah.
Harsh. Sure, they've been fine. It's quite a good segment now. I like this. And Foley looks in really, really good shape. And I think, is he slightly underrated, do you think, on the mic?
No, he's always been good on the mic. I just feel like as time has gone on for me, I don't rate his wrestling.
Yeah.
I think
it's not the wrestling I like to watch, to be honest.
Yeah. The more interesting thing about Mick Foley was his commitment to character. Yeah. And that was what was more important. I never go back and go, oh, that was a great Mick Foley match, because all Mick Foley matches are just hot spots of him, him being essentially a stuntman.
Basically, a very well paid stuntman. Yeah, that's what his character was, and he lived it and retired because of it, I suppose, isn't he? Could have carried on for a lot longer if he hadn't done this sort of wrestling, but we'll see a prime example of that in the main event of this show. But for an opening segment, this is one of the stronger ones for a long time, I think. Foley really gets his point across. Vince comes out and looks like proper prime Vince, like he's like tempting Foley, isn't he, into taking this match against Funk.
The interesting thing about this Vince, when this is basically backstage being brought to in front of everyone. So where you're fed up of something, and then you're telling Vince, and then you're trying to express it that your vision is incorrect for me, and then Vince is explaining all the opportunities for you, and then like what's the thing they used to call it? Things in the past. They said it a snake oil salesman or something like that.
Yes,
yeah, something like that. Where Vince would spin it to make him look like, no, you're a fucking idiot.
He got exactly what he wanted. He said the match with the no holds barred match with Terry Funk is a reward rather than a punishment. I think is how he claimed it to be. And at the end of it, he offers a number one contenders. It becomes a number one contenders match, and Foley's quite happy with that and goes off quite happy. And Austin walks out and just completely ignores Foley. Just walks right past him like he's not even there.
Yeah.
The Austin bit was weird. It didn't need the Austin bit for me. It didn't add anything to it.
No.
Could have saved him to the end. Like when he was on commentary, I thought it was brilliant on commentary for the main event of this.
Yeah.
I just wish the network didn't beep out everything he says, basically.
They even blur out the fingers now.
Yeah, with like wavy lines. I've never seen that before. It's normally pixelated, but I'm not too fan of it. Not bad. Our first match is The Rock and the newest member of the Nation of Domination, Owen Hart, the Black Heart, taking on Faarooq, still in his Nation gear, and Steve Blackman. I watched this with my daughter, and she was well impressed with Steve Blackman.
Was it the sticks?
She said he was the most muscly out of all of them. So that's an 8-year-old girl's opinion. And Steve Blackman, you've got a fan there.
The interesting thing about this was as The Rock and Owen Hart came out, they were stating that Owen Hart has the same level. What was it? Same level of responsibility as The Rock.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's now running the nation, apparently.
Yeah.
We saw the first glimpses of the Godfather here, didn't we? It's the first time he had the waist jacket on, he had the cap with the feather, and he had the cigar going. It's like, this is a different Karma completely. He has changed full on into like the beginnings of a Godfather character. I like that. And then Marc Henry just in his comfies.
Yeah, and then we do get shenanigans in this match. We get 6 minutes of a match, but
Jeff
Jarrett decides to come out and then continue his feud with Steve Blackman.
Yeah. Jarrett is a man lost, isn't he? He doesn't know what he's doing at the minute. He's feuding with anyone. He's had 3 gimmicks in 3 months. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Yeah, it was a shame, really, because it was a decent tag match. It was like a fairly good for the time, fairly good for the era tag match. It was going well. Everyone was getting their stuff in. And Jarrett comes out and completely ruins it. But yeah, the Rock and Owen Hart win. Fair enough. 6.5 minutes. Probably the best match we've seen in this entire run so far.
So what's interesting, what we get next is a promo for Gerald Briscoe.
Yeah.
So
completely
pointless.
Out of the blue.
It's so pointless, this one. And then what we get is the current man that's sitting in a high wingback chair. We get a promo for Edge, who is who is coming.
Just beating men up on the street, like beating homeless men up by the looks of it. What's he doing? In his shiny shirt. I forgot about these promos because I always forget that Edge came in briefly before the Brood, didn't he? He was around for a little bit before that.
Yeah, I think that the moment Gangrel becomes a character, and then suddenly they start feuding, but then they bring in Christian. Yes. So that was how the Brood came about. So it's going to be more interesting because they lead into the ministry as well. So we're getting we're leading.
I'm looking forward to where we're going to get. It's just we got to get there now.
But the funny thing is like completely off context is when you go onto the network and then you scroll through because for some reason they've got December at the top and you have to go backwards. You have to go all the way back to where you need to go. So you can see all the fun thumbnails getting towards where you are, and then you're where you are. It's like, oh man,
we're like 2 or 3 months away from it getting really, really good. We just got to get there. We've got to sit through the LOD and DX back and forth things.
Yeah,
Jesus, that was painful to watch. That was talking about the size of their dicks. Like that was all unscripted because at the end of it, Hawk just goes like he just has enough and walks off. Like he says, "Oh, I know you are. So what am I then?" Basically.
Yeah, but it was. I mentioned this. On the Untitled Mania Marcus show with Marcus, where I'm tired of this 80s 90s promo where people are just yelling, which is just Animal.
Yeah.
Animal at this kind of stage is the one just yelling at the camera, and it's just like
incomprehensible. Isn't it? You don't know what the fuck he's saying.
I'm like, if you listen back to what they said, it's like you said a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. What do they call them? They call them Mr. Ass, Mr. Hole, Mr. Nose, and Mr. for China, which is very nice.
Yeah.
They call X-Pac little man, little boy, something like that. And X-Pac hit back by calling Sonny Skanky, I think. And yeah. And
I mean,
dick joke
that is probably the truest thing they said on
that. Yeah, true. We get a very quick match following this after the plug for UFC 17, which
I thought that was weird.
Weird, yeah, it is really weird
that they were plugging that.
Yeah, on that show actually, I had a little Chuck Liddell had his first UFC fight on UFC 17.
Yeah,
pretty sure he's in the Hall of Fame at this point. So that's how long we're going to go through the. I wonder when they stop plugging UFC.
I think somewhere in 99 or something like that.
Yeah, it must be because I don't remember it from 2000 onwards. So maybe we've got another year or so of this. But yeah. Dan Severn comes out and just beats Savio Vega up in a minute and a half with some really
slow suplexes.
Really slow suplexes. Like I don't think Savio is helping him at all in this point. He's just like, you're going to have to throw me because I'm not helping you. Then we get a very weird backstage segment, which
I'm not gonna lie, I love this. I love this for all the wrong reasons.
We find out some character breaking stuff, like Paul Bearer lost his virginity at 19.
Yeah, but did you see the way he was talking about it? Like, with the most fascinating thing in the world. This is why this is the best segment of the night.
Yeah.
Because of what followed it was the insincere apology from
The
Jerry
Lawler
Lawler.
apology. Yeah.
like he didn't know that was going out on air. And I know for sure he did not care or was sorry for what he said.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's like the best of Lawler, basically, in that part. We get the worst of Lawler during the DX match in a little bit, but it was a really good segment. It reminded me of the old GTV things, like the little, like camcorder footage of backstage bits that weren't supposed to be seen.
Yeah,
we'll
but the
get to
GTV
maybe
never
later
really
on.
got anywhere. Yeah, the GTV stuff really never went anywhere though. That was the problem.
Yeah,
This one, like, because it led to so many like branching things after this, I was like, yeah, this is more funny.
yeah. This is a weird episode of Raw because then we get basically a promo for what looks like a Sable sex video. Like she's just gripping bars very gently. And,
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be a training video, but this wasn't a
Yeah.
training video.
No. Look at this woman with big tits. We're wobbling around on things, basically, is what it was for like 2 minutes. Definitely a Vince Russo promo package, this one, I think.
I mean, it happened in the Rocky movies, so you kind of have to allow it. No?
True, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It was definitely less sexual than Rocky and Apollo Creed running on the beach in their little shorts.
Yeah. How do you know? It might appeal to some people.
Well, yeah, each their own. Next up, we don't get a match. We get the starts of a match. Marc Mero comes out and then disappears. Jeff Jarrett comes out with Tennessee Lee after a big old intro and his firework entrance.
I really hate hearing Tennessee Lee speak. It's the sound he makes after endings of words. It's really off-putting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's a hideous man, basically. We don't get a match. Blackman comes out, doesn't he, and just beats the shit out of Jeff Jarrett for a bit.
Yeah.
So that ends our section of Raw is War. We enter the War Zone, and there is only 3 things happen in the War Zone this week, and there's about 25 minutes of wrestling in an hour-long show. About that, yeah. I reckon the Foley match goes about 14.
The Foley match ran long. The Foley match ran long.
Yeah. And this DX, so our first match is DOA and LOD 2000 with Sunny taking on DX. Sunny gets sent to the back straight away. Mike Kyoto's having none of her shit today. And then he sends back X-Pac.
No, so he tried to send back China.
Yeah.
But then X-Pac was like, no, she's wrestling.
Is he injured at this point? Because he's not actually had a match yet, has he?
I don't think he does. I don't think he has a match for a while.
Yeah, he's been here for 4 weeks now. Well, actually longer than that. That's 7 weeks now. So, yeah, he's not actually had a match yet. So he must have some sort of injury. But yeah, not a bad match this until it all kind of breaks down at the end. I did like the Outlaws coming on their little mopeds.
Yeah, the dumb thing about this match was the DOA had a tag team title match, which the LOD convinced them not to have.
Yeah, what a bunch of idiots. Absolute idiots. Crush leaves and look what happens. They can't figure out what to do between themselves. So I like the Outlaws coming down on their little Vespers and Billy like revving the thing and trying to keep it under control before he gets into the ring. That was good. Road Dogg almost running X-Pac over on the ramp. But not a bad match, actually, for kind of the level of talent on one side, like the DOA LOD team. They're not the best actual workers, but pretty good back and forth. About 8 or 9 minutes, I think, something like that. Before it all breaks down.
It was pretty decent until the DOA decided to fight the LOD.
Yeah, did it suddenly just strike them halfway through the match? Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
It seems weird that they would suddenly just figure out, hang on a minute, we're not getting a title match here. Let's just beat up LOD.
So on the note, it says an argument ensues between Skull and Animal on the apron. They end up fighting on the floor, and Hawk naturally helps out Animal. Meanwhile, 8-Ball hits Gunn with a side slam and joins the mess happening on the floor. This ends the match in a no contest or a count out. Not sure. Anyway, there's no finish. About 7 minutes, 30 minutes.
Fair enough. Yeah, and then it cuts backstage, doesn't it? And someone
They're still
hits one of
fighting.
the DOA members with really, really light trash can shot or something like that. He basically just taps it on his back very gently, and then one of the DO members smashes. It looked like a chalkboard or like a green chalkboard over an animal's head. Makes a big dent into it. Idiots. We get a. I say we get a match. We get the starts of a match, don't we, between TAFKA and Goldust. Actually, as Goldust, but with the sleeveless number. I quite like that. It looked good. I thought. Get his arms out. Taking on Kane with his big bandaged hand, his big club that he's got.
I do love when I see this in the NFL, and I do love this when I see this in wrestling. When you clearly got an injured hand or something, and then you just kind of just turkey it up and
it's the Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing ever.
Just have a club, which for wrestling is fine. Like, just smack someone around the face with a big clubbed hand. You can get away with it. It's not a closed fist. That goes on for about 2 minutes, and then Taker comes down and it doesn't really do much, does he? He slams Kane's hand off the steps, and then that's it. It gets broken up, and yeah. I like Paul Bearer and Danny Undertaker. That's my son.
Is this the episode where he comes after Jerry Lawler? Is that the next one?
That must be next week. Yeah, that's not this week. We're going to get some good Kane stuff throughout this run as well. He's going to set JR on fire at some point.
Yeah. We nearly did when he was doing magic.
Well, yeah. It was close. That cameraman just took the shot instead. We get a very long video package about the history of Foley and Funk.
I didn't need this. I really didn't need this.
It went on far too long.
We go back to that clip where they're talking in the stands and stuff. It's just like, why? We've done this already.
We've seen all this months ago. Val Venis vignette. He's coming, apparently.
He did.
As we've known for weeks. We'll see him next week. No, in 2 weeks' time, we'll see Val Venis. So not long until we get the money shot. And then our main event is Mick Foley taking on Terry Funk in a no-holds-barred match. Austin's on commentary. This is really good.
Really good.
Yeah, really good.
Really good.
Yeah, this is what I want to see. These two guys. It's not deathmatch wrestling, but it's good no-holds-barred wrestling.
Yeah, and it didn't go too far.
Yeah.
Like they did show them showing off like exploding table shit, and I was just like, yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah. No, that's too far. Yeah, any time any company outside of Japan's tried a death match, doesn't work. Really doesn't work. AEW, I'm looking at you. But yeah, we get the kind of chairs and we get jumping off the guardrails and stuff. Like that's kind of WWE's level of deathmatch wrestling, and I'm fine with that. It works really well. And yeah, really good match. They pulled the old pile driver onto the chair to get the win for Foley, and he carries on beating up Funk after the match as well. He snaps.
Well, and then Steve Austin just getting furious on the outside because his headset stopped working, and we lose the King. We lose King, where it's just JR and Steve Austin, where Steve Austin continues to threaten JR because he believes JR is behind it.
So Austin gets into the ring and after the match throws the beer in Foley's face. And then Foley puts the mandible claw on the ref, which is Pat Patterson. I forgot to mention that. And then Vince appears out of nowhere with a couple of lovely ladies, and
the same ones.
Dude Love's back. Yeah,
the same ones that he called bitrate strippers.
Yeah, exactly. They're back, and Vince gets groovy.
Yeah,
in a hideous display of dancing, to which Austin puts his fingers down his mouth. But all in all, for a closing segment, that's one of the strongest closing segments we've seen to an episode of Raw in a long, long time. Actually, I thought it was really good. This episode in total, I think, is probably my favourite one we've done so far.
Yeah, I think so.
There's no like massive standout moment. There's no bits that you'd cut back to on like best of the Attitude Era packages and stuff. But I think it was just a very solid episode of Raw. There's not a great deal of crap on it, really. I could have done about Dan Severn and Savio Vega, but
this one was an easy watch. This one,
it really was.
There's been episodes of Raw that we had to go like, oh,
yeah. You have to suffer through it, but yeah, this one was pretty good. Who was your MVP for the show, Manny?
Has to be Mick.
Yeah,
Mick did the business opening promo, and then decent main event. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Match of the night.
Main event has to be main event.
Yeah. I mean, the other two matches that went quite a while were pretty good as well, but yeah, the main event eclipsed them both, and just a really good episode of Raw. Looking forward to seeing what's coming up next. Our next pay-per-view, by the way, is Over the Edge, which is coming up. I don't remember anything that happens at Over the Edge.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good pay-per-views till I think SummerSlam.
Till 2000.
I don't think there's any good pay-per-views till at least we get to SummerSlam. And I think that might be the next watch-along we do for the Raw is Retro series of watch-alongs. I don't think there is anything coming up that is worthwhile rewatching live.
No, I don't think there is. What's on SummerSlam? D'Lo versus Val. That's going to be good. The Oddities with the Insane Clown Posse taking on Kai and Ty. All in for that. X-Pac versus Jeff Jarrett in a hair versus hair match. With Method Man in the crowd, apparently. Awesome. Marc, Mero and Jacqueline taking on Sable and Edge. So Edge is around by that pay-per-view. Shamrock versus Owen.
Can we get Triple H and The Rock in a ladder match?
Yes, we do. We get Foley versus the Outlaws for the tag team titles. Seems weird. That's one man taking on two men. Yeah, we get that really, really good ladder match. And then we get Austin versus Taker. I think this is the one where Austin gets like knocked out early on in the match.
I think it's going to be the Raws leading up to that's going to be good because I remember that build to that was great. And then you had Highway to Hell by AC/DC as the song, as the song of choice for that pay-per-view. So yeah, I think every leading up to SummerSlam, I think that's going to be the best one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, yeah, there's some good pay-per-views coming up. Actually, towards the back end of the year, we get The Rock turning on Mankind and joining the corporation as well towards the end of the year. Which is, I still remember that vividly, being like absolutely disgusted that The Rock had done that. So looking forward to that one.
Disgusting. You were what, 15?
Yeah. Still real to me. Still real to me, man.
The one that upset me, I think I've mentioned already, is when Shawn Michaels beat the Bulldog for the European title.
Yeah.
And I had no reason to be upset about it.
Yeah.
No reason.
Oh, we got King of the Ring this year. We got Foley versus Taker and Hell in a Cell. Maybe we'll do a watch along for that. Actually,
It's probably
a pretty good show.
It actually looks good. So,
yeah, we get Austin versus Kane for the title and the First Blood match, which is fucking dreadful.
Owen Hart versus X-Pac, New Age Outlaws versus New Midnight Express. That might be awful. The Rock and Shamrock in the finals. That sounds good. Yeah. Let's do that one.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
That's when's that? June 28th.
Yeah, end of June. So yeah, that we'll probably do the live watch along for that one. That'd be good. Hopefully Marcus and Eric will join us, but we'll find out. Anyway, until then, you can find us on all of our social media.
Before we do that, Ross, we need to highlight something.
What's that?
Eric did not want to appear on Roy's Retros because Ross apparently is white and Eric is a bigot. I did not know Ross was white.
It's been a long kind of not spoken of secret, but yeah, I am actually a white man. So yeah, I mean, Marcus is quite happy to show up on this show, but Eric,
bigger.
I mean, yeah, and he's not going to watch this, so he'll never find out.
Yeah, he'll never find out. But we're going to keep this narrative till he appears on this show.
So if you watch the Saturday show, get in them comments and call him out on it.
Yeah, go, Eric, you're a bigot.
Why do you hate the white man, Eric? And if you want to catch that Saturday show, you can do that on YouTube at The Sharpshooters. Just find us on there. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Like all the videos. Get involved with the live chats and share all the videos, do all that sort of stuff. You can find us on Twitter at Sharpies Network, on Facebook. We're kind of in the mid-card mess, so get involved in the mid-card mess. It's the best place to be on Facebook, because the rest of Facebook's just a load of shit. And email the show at thesharpshooters@gmail.com. We'd love to have an email on. Yeah.
You may get an old email from Johnny Cashmere where murder is murder unless you're Benoit or OJ.
Doesn't matter who you are. Murder's still murder. We'll do it again this week. But until we are back next week with another episode of Raw is Retro, it's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from Manny.